Call Tim McIndoe.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My constituents in Hamilton West often say to me that they are very supportive of apprenticeships and they want to see good quality apprenticeships, training that will lead, particularly for our young people, but in fact for all people, into really sustainable jobs. And they are disappointed, Ms Moroney, because over the previous 10 years, when your party was in government, they saw a threefold increase in expenditure on ATOs for absolutely no result whatsoever. Because not only are they supportive of apprenticeships, Mr Speaker, they also believe in accountability for the expenditure of public money. Because they know, unlike the opposition, that the government doesn't have the money, it's their money that came out of their pocket. And they want to see the young people and all those who aspire to a job getting good training and delivering results for that training. And so it's worth reminding the opposition that during the 10 years at the start of this century, qualification completions and credit attainment by trainees was pitifully low. In fact, as the Minister pointed out, up to 100,000 people a year who were listed as being in industry training were in fact phantom trainees, many of whom achieved no credits whatsoever. That was a disgrace. Instead of shouting at me, opposition members should hang their heads in shame at that. And so we as a government are determined to ensure that the changes will increase opportunities for in-work training and that they will expand and improve our apprenticeship system. That is why, Mr Speaker, this year the budget increased the number of trades training places for Maori and Pacifica applicants from approximately 600 previously to approximately 3,000 today over the next 4 years. What a great thing that is. And Dr Clark sits here in this House day after day calling out where are the jobs, and even when that question is repeatedly answered and he's told have a look at the SEEK website, have a look at Trade Me, there are jobs out there. But what we're doing with this measure is we're ensuring that there will be a better fit between the training and the jobs that are there. And he will remain on the opposition benches for a very long time until he takes his head out of the sand, recognises that reality. His party did nothing of any value for those people. We are getting on with the job and it will work. Mr Speaker, New Zealand apprenticeships will provide the same level of support and the same level of subsidy for all apprentices regardless of their age. And that's important because they're not all young, they're not all just out of school. And we have also boosted the educational content of apprenticeships by requiring all apprenticeship programs to be at least 120 credits and to result in a level 4 qualification. Now, why is that important? Well, that's important for the reason that Phil Goff told us during the last election. And Labor members who campaigned, and it's all of them over there, at the last election ought to remember that when their leader, Phil Goff, was going around the country, he was regularly quoting Brent Metrick of Stonewood Homes, who repeatedly said, this measure, that the bill that we've got here is exactly what is needed. He called for this and Phil Goff said we will deliver. So that's why I was astonished when Grant Robertson earlier said something completely different. It was as if he had no recollection of what his own party was campaigning on. Because Phil Goff supported and emphasised Mr Betrick's plea for the system to increase funding for apprenticeships, which would allow industry training organisations to invest in the quality of education for apprentices, lower fees for employers and encourage growth in the uptake of apprenticeships. Mr Speaker, that is exactly what this bill will do. I am proud to lend my support to it. I know it's going to be very good for those young people and for the country.
I call Andrew Little.
Well, Mr Speaker, you know, it's